You know, if you're in the startup world, you've heard it a million times. Get press, get visible. But what if chasing every single headline is actually the wrong goal? We're about to dig into some fascinating research that completely flips that idea on its head. It turns out what really gets investors to write a check isn't just about being seen, it's about being remembered. All right, so let's kick things off with what we all think we know. I mean, for decades, the playbook has seemed pretty simple, right? The more headlines you get, the better your chances are. Well, that's the big myth we're here to bust today. And it really all boils down to that classic old question, doesn't it? Is all press good press? The idea that any mention, any ink at all is a win. But think about it. When your audience isn't the general public, but a small group of super savvy expert investors, does that rule still hold up? So on the one hand, you have this idea of just pure visibility, getting your name out there as much as humanly possible. The theory is that this makes investors feel safer because, hey, you're a known quantity. But this research really pokes a hole in that, asking, are VCs really just counting how many times your name shows up? Or are they looking for something way, way deeper, something that actually sticks with them? And this is where a totally new concept comes into play, one that completely reframes the whole goal of getting media coverage. We're going to stop talking about being seen and start talking about being remembered. Let's dive into what the researchers call media memorability. So, what in the world is media memorability? Well, think of it like this. It's the special power of your media coverage to truly burn your startup's name into an investor's brain. We're not talking about a fleeting headline they see today and totally forget by tomorrow. We're talking about creating a lasting mental footprint. And this, right here, is the huge shift in thinking. The old model, it was all about how often you're seen and whether the article was positive. It kind of treated everyone the same. But this new model, memorability, it's so much smarter. It gets that expert audiences like VCs aren't just skimming headlines. No, they're processing information on a completely different level. Okay, so if memorability is the secret sauce, then what exactly isn't it? How do you actually get it? Well, the research breaks it down into three really clear, powerful components. Let's take a look at what makes a startup stick.
All right, so memorability is built on three pillars. First, you've got prevalence. This is the one we all know. It's basically how often your name shows up. But then it gets really interesting. The second pillar is distinctiveness. Are you just another face in the crowd, or are you associated with something truly unique? You want to be the red coat in a sea of gray suits. And finally, you have connectivity. This is about showing you're not just some tiny niche player. No, this shows you are central to the entire industry conversation. You're the super connector linking all the important ideas.
Now, this all sounds great on paper, but does it actually work? I mean, does this whole media memorability thing really translate into cold, hard cash, into actual funding? Let's get to the data and see how this played out in the real world. And believe me, the researchers really did their homework on this one. They looked at 197 high-tech startups over a whole decade. And this was in a really tough sector with tons of uncertainty, which actually makes it the perfect place to see what signals investors, especially VCs, are truly paying attention to. And the results? They were absolutely staggering. Get this. For every single 1% increase in a startup's media memorability score, that's the combo of all three pillars, the likelihood of getting VC funding shot up by 67%. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some tiny little correlation. It's a massive, game-changing impact. Okay, but I know what you're thinking. Come on, what about just getting good press? A glowing article has to count for something, right? I mean, it just feels intuitive that a positive tone would be a huge deal. And this is where it gets really wild. Turns out, when a startup already had high memorability, the tone of the coverage, whether it was positive or negative, had no significant extra effect on funding. For these expert VCs, being distinct and central to the conversation was such a powerful sign of a company's value that a little positive spin was basically irrelevant. They could already see the potential loud and clear. So what is the big takeaway here? What does this mean for you if you're a founder out there trying to build a company and get it funded? Well, it means it's time to completely rethink your media strategy. It's time to go from chasing visibility to building memorability. So here's the new game plan. It's actually pretty simple, but it changes everything. Stop asking how many articles can we get and start asking what unique idea can we own. Don't just announce a new product, explain how your company connects all the dots for the entire industry. Your goal isn't just to be seen everywhere anymore, it's to be remembered for something specific, something important. And that really leaves us with one final critical question you need to ask yourself. In a world that is just flooded with information, where investors are seeing thousands of pitches, are you just creating a little bit of noise, some fleeting visibility? Or are you building something that lasts in their minds, something truly memorable? Because according to this research, that difference is everything.